The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. In a broken world, stories with humor, heart, or hope are a nice change of pace.
There are some things money can't buy.
It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
It's hard to believe it's been 22 years since the attack on 9/11.
Yeah.
I remember right where I was. I was 16 years old. I was in typing class.
Wow.
I mean, I remember the room. I remember the day.
Yeah, I do too. I was in California, but it was earlier there from when it all started happening on the East Coast. And then we were debating, okay, do we go into work today? Because we were at another place that had been rumored was a target. And it was a chaotic day. And it's crazy to think it was 22 years ago. And it's one of those things too, like, is it good or bad that you move forward,
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
Time marches on.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to move forward.
If you had a family member, you never do,
Right.
And so I'm on the fence of where I land on that.
Right. Gavin, how old were you?
I was 6 years old, and you guys were talking about how you processed that day.
Yeah.
I have zero memory of like 9/11, and my dad worked for the Air Force,
Right.
and he worked for kind of like how they thought about responding. And it's funny because my mom and dad, they say that like he went to work and he was at work for hours on end that we barely saw him. And I think they just did a great job of not letting that land on our shoulders, I guess. And I was the oldest child, but I don't remember that day at all.
Yeah, and I think it's important. It's an important event, of course, to keep in mind for your kids. You want to teach them about American history, and it's something that should be remembered and respected. So if you're considering talking to your kids about September 11th, here are a few tips on how to have that conversation. First, you need to gauge how much they already know. There's sometimes 9/11 could have been something that already has been talked about in their school, like in history class, or they could have gotten some wrong information from other kids. And if that's the case, you want to make sure that you correct it. Be mindful of their age, kind of like what Gavin was saying with his parents. Like at 6 years old, you're young. You don't need to know, too much. But if your kids are young, you'll want to keep it pretty simple. Teens, though, they can handle more, and they might have specific questions in mind. So be prepared for those questions. And then a couple of great ways to teach your kids. If they're young, you can actually download lesson plans now that are free and available. They're age appropriate online. And if they're older, a great way is to pull up old interviews on YouTube so you can see old videos of people who are survivors who can speak about their experience, or those who have lost someone in the attacks.
If you have the ability to ever go to the 9/11 memorial in New York, it's powerful.
I went to it.
Did you? I did too. There's one place, and there's a few places that were hard because of the reality of it and the jarring nature of what happened. But it is one of the greatest things I've ever gone to, and it's such a good reminder of what happened on that day and the heroes involved as well.
Exactly. But of course, like Wally was saying, there are some hard moments in those things. And I'm sure, I know that there are lots around the country, lots of memorials for the day.
Sure.
And so, of course, once again, be aware of the age of your child. I'm not sure the content on whether or not it's age appropriate.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for your news-ish. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting WayFM. This is the Wally Show. We're going to do a little Boo-Yay Your Weekend, where you give us a story about your weekend. We'll go around the room, sit in judgment, give you a boo or a yay. Get more yays than boos, you win a prize. And remember, sometimes we're booing for you because it was a bad weekend and it's just a boo. We commiserate with you. And other times it's pure jealousy because of how awesome your weekend was and ours was not. Gavin, let's do a little example round here.
Okay, so going into the weekend, you guys might have remembered I was sneezing a lot.
Yes.
And I think I don't know what's going on with my body this year, but just like sneezing, coughing, gross all weekend.
Yeah.
And we decided though that we had some friends who were throwing an engagement party for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, weird.
No. Okay. Other people planned it. That wasn't weird. But so we went to this thing, and it's in this crazy, loud, upbeat, trendy restaurant. It's loud. I can't hear. We're trying to celebrate, and I'm like, I'm leaking.
Yeah,
I'm
I get
dripping,
it. I get it.
all of this stuff. But
Yeah.
I decided to power through this whole experience. Honestly, it was kind of miserable.
Okay.
So,
I got
but
you.
I powered through. Should I have gone? Should I have not gone?
Boo!
Okay.
You should have used your illness as a reason to not go.
Yes.
1,000,000,000%. Do you
Okay.
like these people?
Oh, yeah, they're great people.
Even so. Boo! Like, still, like, if I can avoid any social situation at some restaurant with, loud restaurants and even with people and a lot of people that I may or may not care about, boo. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Did you feel pressure though from Haley, your wife?
No.
That you
That's
needed
good.
to go?
No, this is stubbornness on my part of just like,
Then
hey,
I'm
like,
gonna
I should be
boo
there.
you
Yeah.
because I know that when you go and you see friends after a long time, you hug or you shake hands or whatever, your germs are going everywhere and you're just like snotting it up. No, thank you.
Yeah.
There was
No.
hugging. Yeah, that was bad.
Thanks for bringing all that here too, which is great. Because now I think I'm doing. There's something going around like allergies or something.
Yeah.
My nose. Betty's not doing well.
Yeah.
Her sinuses. So yeah.
I'm not alone.
No, you're not
Yay!
alone. Yeah, so there you go. You got a yay. All right. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take your boo yay story right now. What do you got?
We are part of a ministry where we adopt athletes that come into our local university, and we've been doing it about 10 years. And our very first one still call us Mama and Dad. And so this weekend we traveled a couple of hours to celebrate the first birthday of one of our adoptive grandbabies.
Oh, that's really cool. So you guys have been doing this for quite a while, and now you're getting to see like all of that investment in these kids pay off. I love that.
Some of the other kids were there, so in total we got to see 5 of our grandbabies and their parents, and it was just a fantastic weekend.
Well, only a horrible person could boo this. Betty?
I was going to say boo because now with all the people that you have in your life that you love, they're going to keep having children, which means you're going to have to buy more and more birthday presents.
That's right. And all
which
the
means-
cards.
Yeah, there's so much money that comes with that.
But for
And then you
someone with a good
travel.
heart and a soul, that's not a burden or an inconvenience. It's a blessing.
It is.
Yeah.
In that case, I would say, yay.
Well, I'm definitely going to yay that as well, Robin. You're the best. You win today. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day.
What do you got?
Our daughter got married this weekend.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is going to be controversial, but boo!
What? How?
Because it's the daughter. If it was a son, I would have yayed it. But if it's the daughter, they had to pay. Because I have a daughter. I'm booing this day. Like, I'm dreading the day that she gets married. How was yours? Was it a nice ceremony at least?
It was wonderful, and the weather was perfect. My daughter was like 40 coming out of the womb. She was an old soul, and she actually checked the Farmer's Almanac to make sure that her wedding day's weather would be right.
That is awesome. So it was a great ceremony, and I bet you didn't even think twice about the money, huh?
I really can say I didn't because he is amazing. He loves my kid, and he loves Jesus most of all.
You know who did think about it? Your husband.
Yeah, yeah, he did probably.
Well, I am glad that you guys had a great time, so I'm going to change my jaded boo into an enthusiastic yay.
Yay!
Yay!
Monday School is a chance for Wally to share what he learned at church and prove that he went.
Ironically, I did not go. I had to take my
Yeah.
wife to the airport, and we only have 3 services, so I couldn't make it to one.
Wait, what?
I know, I should have. But Gavin is doing Monday School today. The Monday School duties fall on you. What do you got?
Okay, so as a young kid, I remember sitting down with my mom every single day before school started. We sat at breakfast. She kind of went through these little graphic cards teaching us the Bible. It was
Really?
like Old Testament stories, kind of like building our foundation about the Bible and building our faith like that. And I remember even like my parents, they served in like Sunday school and all this stuff. And when I think back on that, I see back and I see how much they valued like the next generation's faith. And that's
Right.
what we were talking about at church was generational faith and how much of a priority it is in the Bible and how important it is. Deuteronomy 6:2 says that and that you may and oh my goodness. And then,
It's okay. Calm down. He's nervous. He's shaking.
Well, it's weird when you go from like talking
Yeah.
and then you try to quote the Bible and
I
you see
know.
weird words like revere and you're like,
Right.
am I saying serve or revere? So Deuteronomy 6:2 says, and that you may so revere the Lord your God, that you will keep all his statutes and commandments that I am giving you, and that you and your children and your grandchildren all your lives so prolong and to serve the Lord. And so whenever I heard that and our pastor walking through that, it did make me think of the Carrie Job and Cody Carn song, The Blessing.
Oh, yeah. I remember we made an edit of the song once, and your children, and your children, and your children. But it is true. It's generational faith.
That's the idea, is that you go all the way back to, Moses talking about and your children and your children. And then I see the importance that my parents placed on our faith. And I feel like you as a parent, the day that you had your kid, you had your whole life, you had your story and all this. And then all of a sudden, everything probably surrounded like Haley.
Absolutely.
And it was all about her.
Still is.
And you, especially when you go on vacation with
her. I know.
Her.
Still is.
But I'm sure it was really powerful to see her faith grow, because at first it's you pouring into it. And then I'm sure that there was that moment where you kind of see that little like click where it became her faith instead of just it being something that you taught her every single day.
Right. But it is important. I think you underscore the importance of, as parents, putting this into your kids. Your mom doing flashcards with you before school, and you went to public school, so she's trying to do Christian school before public school for you, and it paid off for you too, because you turned out to be this godly man who tried to upstage me with music in your Monday school. Not happening, but nicely done. That's going to do it for your Monday school. Thank you, Gavin.
It's easy to let the fear of the unknown keep us from doing something that is good for us, but going back to school might not be quite what you think.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears going back to school was I'd have to watch a ton of online lectures, and I kind of have a problem staying awake during stuff like that, but it was so different than I had imagined, and way better.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I was going to have to take a bunch of tests, which I am not a fan of, but instead I was able to write papers, which for me was way better.
Plus, you have the flexibility to work in school around your work and life schedule. Another big fear I had is, what if I don't understand something? What do I do?
Yeah, CCU, they foster community with your classmates, and they are a great resource. And Colorado Christian University has very responsive online professors who are there to help you, so you are never alone as an online student at CCU.
Learn more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's what's going on today.
So it is 9/11, and it's the 22nd anniversary of that horrific day. And a full 2 decades later, after their capture, the U.S. Military Commission, the trial of the century against 5 accused 9/11 attackers, is back on track. And you think, back on track? Wait, what happened? It's crazy to think that this thing hasn't come to fruition yet. 22 years later, they're still doing like pre-trial hearings in August, and then the Department of Defense disclosed this shocking thing that actually the commission is considering a plea deal that it's been given by the defense, and basically it would give the mastermind of this and the 4 accomplices the ability to not have the death sentence imposed on them in exchange for admitting guilt. So it's like, okay, well, it's crazy to think that this is still going on, to this day. Because there's things in our history that you just assume were settled and you missed it and we're good. But apparently not. And especially
22 years.
Yeah, if you're one of these families that lost somebody in 9/11, you feel this, and you definitely feel it today, and every year around this time. And so the military, the Pentagon sent out a letter to survivors and families of those killed, letting them know about the possible pre-trial plea deal, and they wanted their opinions on it. Well, Terry Estrada is a representative for a bunch of the 9/11 families, said that such a plea agreement is just the latest but probably the biggest slap in the face of these families. But the fact that there now is a potential deal being offered right before the anniversary is just horrible. It's a feeling of betrayal. And that's true. I mean, it's one of those things, the timing could not be worse for these families that have to relive it again every year. They never stop reliving it, but then it gets worse around these times. The good thing in this, though, was President Biden issued a statement saying he concurred with the Secretary of Defense and his recommendation to not accept the plea deal proposed by the 9/11 defendants and their lawyers. So I'm glad to see that the country and the government's like, no, I don't think so. We need to do this for the families of those that lost somebody and get it done. We have this concept of right to a speedy trial in our country, and we always think of that for the defendant, to not be drug out. But this is something that the right to a speedy trial would have been healthy for the families. And imagine this going on for 22 years, looking for that justice.
And I'm sure that there are people that lost someone during the 9/11 attacks, and now they've passed on as well. Like in those 22 years, they never got closure.
I had seen a story the other day that talked about the ongoing loss that they are attributing to first responders and people that got sick from their work in the Trade Center, and that they're chalking them up to more losses from that, and they're memorializing them as well because it just continues to keep hitting people. So I think today is one of those days. It's a good day for reflection. Because, again, sometimes in history we move forward. If you weren't directly affected by it, it's really easy to move on and not think about it. But today's maybe the day that you think about the people that are kind of stuck there and can't move on, and maybe toss up a prayer for them as well. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. I gave him another chance. I gave Kohl's another chance. I used to love Kohl's. I was a big Kohl's fan. I'm a Marshall's guy now, but I
yes, he's talking about the department store.
Yes, I am. I'm very upset about this. So I tried to go to Kohl's again. I had an Amazon return, and I love that you can return to Kohl's. It's great. And so Amazon, at the end of the thing, they always give you a coupon, 20% off. Great.
Yeah.
So my wife and I were like, hey, we've got 20% off. Let's do a little shop. We'll look around, and that's why they do it to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they want you in there.
Correct.
Because they want to do. You're playing right into the system.
And I saw it coming.
Yeah, like Amazon return, I'm here, then you're already in the store, they already give you a coupon, they want your business.
Exactly, and so it's all working flawlessly for them at this point. Everything is happening the way it should. I find these Hurley pants, I'm like, oh, I do like these. They are much too young for me, but I love them. And so I purchased them. I take them up to the register, and I proudly put them on the counter, and I had one other thing too, and I'm so excited to present the cashier with my 20% off coupon. I'm like, here you go, good sir. I will be taking the reduced price. Thank you very much. Yes, those are nice pants. I can't believe I'm getting them for 20% off. My goodness. And he looks at me and goes, oh, bro, so sorry. Like, what do you mean, bro? And he's like, these coupons are a little limited. They don't cover everything. And so these pants and that thing. So the two things I was holding, he's like, they don't cover. And
of course they don't.
Yeah. Ouch. And I'm like, all right. Fine.
No.
I did. I said fine. I gave in, and I bought them with no discount.
Oh.
Kohl's always gets me. The house always wins.
You lost.
I did.
I hope that you're a little embarrassed by this.
I am.
Like you played straight into their hands.
Trust me, I know it.
You are the victim. When they're like, who are we trying to get? Your face comes to mind.
As mad as I am at Kohl's, I'm probably equally mad at myself. Maybe even
as
more
you should
so.
Be.
I know. I should have just went, you know what, I'm not going to get it. But it's this young guy ringing me up, and I don't want to look like a cheapskate.
Well, and I don't want to be mad.
Yeah.
But I am disappointed.
I understand. And you should be. You should be.
I mean, you could have easily just told the checkout guy, hey, fine, then I don't want these.
I know, but then he would have been like, he wouldn't have called me bruh anymore. You know?
So you wanted to impress the kid behind the cash register.
This is what I thought, geezer. Yeah. Yeah. So I was committed, and it cost me. Have you ever been in that place where you are committed and you don't see a way out, or you don't take a way out? I could have just walked away. I should have just went, look over there, and then just run. But have you ever been committed and it cost you? That was my Kohl's story. 855-33-WAY-FM. For whatever reason, you didn't want to back out of it, and maybe because it made you look a certain way or what have you, but you knew you shouldn't have been paying that, and you paid it anyway. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. Please make me feel better right now. So, Jenny, when have you been committed to something and it cost you?
Oh, it cost us big. We went to take our boss out to dinner for his birthday, and several of us, 20-year-old singles, had saved up our money. We pulled it all together to go take him out for a really nice dinner, And after dinner, we left the money with one person. Hey, can you pay for the dinner for everybody? And we all wait outside with our boss. We've had a wonderful evening. And then she comes out, and everybody's like, hey, can we get our change? Because we had gathered a lot of money. And she left a 60% tip for the waiter because she calculated the tip wrong. Everybody's like, where's our money? And she's like, I don't have any money. I left it all.
She's not in finance at work, is she?
No, she was in customer service. She was like the happy face.
Yeah, well, she served that waiter, and you guys all got served. That's
so
crazy.
Happy.
Well, did the waiter even deserve a 60% tip?
I mean, it was fair service. It wasn't 60% tip-wise.
But it was like 20%.
It's barely 20, probably. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. Sometimes you get sticker shock when you find out how much something is. Like the other day I went to Five Guys to get a hot dog in Spring Hill where I live. I mean, seriously, this is a $4 thing. $7.29, but I was already committed, so I paid it. It's lunacy, man. They've lost their ever-loving minds. And I like Five Guys, but my meal would have been $20. I literally just walked out of there with a hot dog. That's all I got. I got it to go because I couldn't stand the sight of myself after I paid that much for a hot dog. So, Elizabeth, when was the time that your commitment to something cost you and you had to pay the money?
So I had some girls at work tell me about this fabulous lady that does highlights. So I got with my boss. I took the afternoon off. I got with my mom to pick up our kids from the daycare, and I go to get my hair done. And she's like, oh, well, you've got a lot of hair, and it's really long, and you're going to need this and that, and there's a toner and all these things that I don't know about. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, great. How much is that going to be? So my $130, it was supposed to be like $130 for these highlights. It ended up being $500. And, like, all these things are going through my mind. Like, okay, if I don't show up with these highlights, my boss is going to think that I just, like, went to the beach or something. Like, I got to get these highlights. All my friends are going to be disappointed. I've had this appointment for like 2 weeks. I've told my husband that we're going to go on a date night, like all this stuff. and then to top it off, the whole time I'm like panicking because I'm like, I still have to tip this lady.
I know.
How are you supposed to tip somebody on a $500 hairdo? Like, oh my goodness.
To go from $130 to $500, did you look great?
I looked great. She did a really awesome job. I will never go there again.
Yeah. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. Sometimes when you pray, it's for you, and sometimes when you pray, it's for other people that you know and in your life. Like this one here on our prayer wall, Lisa says, hey, please pray for my husband. He's got a new manager position at his job, and he's overwhelmed and having a hard time with a micromanaging boss. Oh, boy, that'd be rough.
Yeah, you would not do well in that
No,
situation.
I would not do well in that at all. She says he doesn't feel like he's being supported. He feels like God's left him during this time. I'm giving him scriptures to cling to with prayers to encourage him. He just feels lost. For guys, our work is a huge part of our identity. And when we're not good there, we bring that home. And it's hard, and it affects so many other parts of your life. Because sometimes, like, I know, like, my wife would be like, well, it's just your job. Don't worry about it. Come home, enjoy your life. And it's like, it's all intertwined for us, you know? And so she's like, yeah, he needs some extra prayers to get through this. And I totally get that. I understand where he's at.
And maybe they go to a Bible study together, you know, like a couple's Bible study, and he doesn't want to be mentioned.
Oh,
no.
no.
You know, like maybe there's something there that he's like, you know, when they ask, does anyone have any prayer requests?
Nope, everything's good.
Right, exactly. But that's what's so awesome about the prayer wall is that you can put your name, or you can do it anonymously and have so many people be praying for you around the country.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, this is my favorite part of the prayer wall. If you're there and you pray for somebody, you just click a box when you're done, and it will send them a notification that says, hey, somebody just prayed for you. And they'll get a bunch of these throughout the day. And a lot of times, I'm telling you, God's timing is perfect in all of this stuff. And so, like, they're going about their day, and maybe they start stressing about it again, and all of a sudden, they'll get that notification, ding, somebody just prayed for you. And it brings people peace throughout some of their anxiety with stuff as well.
So if you text the word pray to 91979, we'll send you a link to the prayer wall. That's pray to 91979.
News-ish is one part news and one part ish.
This is what I use. I don't use my brain, I use my mouth.
It's right there in the title. It's The Wally Show.
What you got, Gavin?
For me, there's nothing like going to a movie theater. At one point, I did have AMC A-List. We kind of stopped because it costs a little bit too much for us. You still have it, though, Wally, right?
I still do have it, and I do like it, although they win because I don't go all the time,
Sure.
and so, like, they're still getting money out of me, and I still buy refreshments.
Sure.
But I don't feel bad about seeing, like, a movie that wasn't good. I go, oh, okay, not a big deal.
Well, if you did take advantage of it, because it lets you see 3 movies
a week. Yeah.
And if you did that over the course of an entire year, 52 weeks, you'd be at 156 total movies, which would be...
That's a lot.
That's a ton of movies.
That's too much.
For you, at least. But there was this one man, wasn't too much for him. He actually set a Guinness record by seeing 777 movies in a 1-year span. And
that is crazy.
This guy, it was interesting. I kind of like did this deep dive into his story. So he would start his day and he would work from about like 4 or 5:45 in the morning till about like 2:45, and then he would go see at least 2 movies a day. And then he would go to a lot of extra movies on weekends. And I love this stuff, too. He's like a 32-year-old dude. The staff of the Regal, because he went to Regal, and they have Regal Unlimited, so you can see unlimited movies. So that allowed him to get to that course.
That's insane.
It was cool. The staff was in on it. And because he was a Regal Unlimited member, he only spent about $300 on the actual movie tickets.
And he got the Guinness Book of World Records. That part's impressive. If you just did it for no payoff, that part at least is cool.
I know y'all are saying this is cool, but a part of me feels sorry for him.
Oh, come on.
Because I hope that he went and saw it with friends. But if you have that much time on your hands to sit there and watch movies...
Because what'd you say, 770 hours?
777, like, movies.
700. Okay, so 770 movies times let's
by
say
like
2 hours
Yeah.
equals 1,500 hours. If you have 40 hours in a work week, divided by 40 equals...
Are you doing math?
Yeah, I am. 38 work weeks. 38 weeks of your life.
He did say that it was basically like taking on like a second full-time job.
Yeah.
He said he enjoyed it, though.
Yeah.
He started with, the journey started with the Minions Rise of Gru movie, ended with the newest Indiana Jones movie. And then he said he saw, because he kind of had to like target shorter movies so that he could do this, he watched the new Puss in Boots movie 42 times.
Oh, come on. That's not right.
Okay, but I think there's a really good ending to the story because the Regal, like the company itself, ended up donating $7,777 to charity in his name.
That's cool.
Because they were part of that journey with him because they saw him every day.
Yeah, that's cool. They should have given him like a chair. Like a movie theater seat, like that he sat in all the time, and been like, "Here you go. This is for you. Put it in your house, and don't ever come back here."
And like free drinks and everything too.
Yeah. You can imagine if he was spending money on concessions for all that time, he would be flat broke. Like he would have to mortgage his house to get the popcorn for that much time.
Now you're feeling sorry for him too.
I do. I feel bad for him actually. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and I have to go to the doctor today for injury to my shoulder. And
getting old stinks.
I am getting old, and it does hurt. Like I still like to go do things, but I've hurt my shoulder, and I can't like move it like I need to. And so I'll probably have to do physical therapy, which I'm not thrilled about.
Yay.
Yeah, I don't like physical therapy.
My mom, she once had to do physical therapy because mainly it came down to a workman's comp. And because I don't think she would have done it had it not been.
Yeah.
But she had somehow either broken or pulled out of joint her pinky.
No.
Yes.
At work?
Yeah, because she was carrying her laptop and then it was falling off out of her grip, and she went to like catch it so it wouldn't hit the ground, and when she did, somehow it did something to her pinky.
Popped her finger.
And she went to pinky therapy?
Yes. And they had to, so she had to go to work, to physical therapy, and she said it was so embarrassing because she would sit there and she had to do like these little exercises with just her pinky, okay?
Go up and
then
down,
she looks
up,
to her,
down.
and then she looks to her left, and there's like
an
someone,
amputee.
yes, there's like someone who's been through a horrible car accident, and they're having to relearn how to walk.
That's
and
tough.
she's like, yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
Oh my
that
goodness.
physical therapy.
Wow.
I mean, that has to be embarrassing, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I like mine. I think my situation. I had hurt my shoulder mountain biking, and then I was getting a massage to try and help it, and I think the lady made it worse. Like, so it's like I'd have to go to physical therapy to get massaged for the bad massage I got or something, which is just weird as well.
And also, too, do you feel like if you end up having to do physical therapy and someone is there and they're asking you, oh, what did this happen from? Do you think you're going to lie about the story?
Absolutely.
You're not going to be like, well, the lady at the massage place hurt me.
No. The lady who's doing my physical therapy knows I got hurt in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, a motorcycle accident, of course.
All right, so what is the embarrassing injury that sent you to physical therapy? Your mom's is pretty great.
Yeah.
Having to just move her pinky up and down.
So sad.
Like, I could do that from home, you know? Like, it feels weird having to do it here.
It does.
But then there's a tiny resistance rubber band they probably use, you know?
Probably did.
All right, 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours right now. What's that embarrassing injury that sent you to physical therapy? 855-33-WAY-FM. What is the injury that sent you to physical therapy?
Well, I actually took my kids roller skating, and I did the splits while roller skating. It's pretty embarrassing because of the location. It's right there in the groin, and physical therapy is not fun, and it's been a very long road to recovery. I'm still having nerve pain.
Oh, my goodness. How old are you?
I'm 35, and I've always been a really good skater, so I was very confident when I went out there with my kids.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you can be as confident as you want, but getting on roller skates at an age with a 3 or higher in it is not advisable at all. Maybe
right,
a 2.
and carrying a 3-year-old at the same time is definitely not advisable, guys.
Oh,
wow. Oh, my goodness. Had you been able to do the splits before?
No.
Well, there you go. That's something new.
I am definitely more flexible these days than I ever was before.
So what is an embarrassing injury that sent you to physical therapy?
Yeah, so I was playing basketball with my 4- and 5-year-old at the time on this little 4-foot plastic basketball goal, and the defense was getting really serious, and I stepped backwards and fell and broke my wrist.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Like, when you get older, breaking anything, it takes longer to heal.
Oh, that is the truth. You know, this is my first broken bone, and I'm 30. So I was like, oh, no. Yes. But I had a cool story.
You say you had a cool story, but were you honest at the physical therapy place? Did you tell him the truth?
I did. And he got a good laugh out of it. But I really beefed it up like I was sort of trying out for the NBA, and he thought that was so impressive.
There you go. Yeah, because if you say I broke it playing basketball, you're good. But when you finish the story on a 4-foot plastic hoop, then it gets a little more embarrassing.
The Bible say in 2nd Deuteronomy of the book of Jericho that the eye for the tooth and the tooth for the people, and everybody who got the eye, you punch them in it. What? I can tell you don't read the Bible.
So I got an email, this is the Wally Show, by the way, from a guy. It says, hey, Wally, I'm a new Christian, about a year old. I've been an avid listener since your 21-day challenge. And as I said, I'm new. I love the Graves into Garden song. It's this one here by Bethel. But I don't understand the bones into armies line. Is that a metaphor? Is it something he actually did? I've been puzzled by this. Thanks for all you do. So this is cool. Like, I love the fact that he's asking questions because I'm familiar with the story, but even I had to go back and look up some of the details and the specifics of it. And so I was more than happy to do that. I said, hey, totally get it. This was actually a vision that Ezekiel had in Ezekiel 37. It's the vision of the Valley of Dry Bones, and God had directed him to prophesy the rebirth of Israel, and so it's this long story, and so I took the time to just give him a little overview, and then I sent him a link where you could read more about it. But that's why it's important too to have a Bible, and you can go through and you can dig into some of these things that you have questions about, and that's why we make sure that anyone can get a free Bible, because you can't always just get a hold of somebody to answer a question for you. And so we have a really great Bible. You could look through different topics and things that are going on in life and go, what does God say about anxiety? And there's verses that it will point you to, and you can get it for free.
And I would trust what you read there more than I would trust what you get back from Wally
absolutely.
In an email.
Oh, absolutely.
Because 90% of the time he's just
winging it.
Yeah, looking over it.
But this
through.
one I actually took time. It was like a Sunday night, and I took time to go through and dig in.
But that's a rare
find the
thing.
resources. No, I take this stuff real seriously. The normal stuff I don't. The Bible stuff I take seriously. And so it's one of those those things that, I love being able to do that and to help people out and figure stuff out because no one knows everything. We all try, and we're all figuring it out. We're at different places in our journey. But what I really love is that Dave was like, hey, I'm new and I got a question. And that's the cool thing. So, when you support the ministry of Way FM, you're making sure that somebody's on the other end of a question to hopefully provide an answer or a resource, or in this case, a Bible, And so if you'd like to get a free Bible, it's really easier if you know someone that needs one.
Just text the word Bible to 91979. That's Bible to 91979. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Rock Report with Betty Rock.
Back in the early 2000s, the rock band Nickleback was selling out arena after arena with songs like these.
I remember the Nickelback. Yeah, Dad Rock now.
That's right, it is. But slowly the band started to lose traction, becoming a running joke for many, becoming the band everyone now hated. And I wasn't sure how all of this dislike of the band started.
I'm not sure because it happened to them and it happened to Creed, and more specifically Scott Stapp from Creed, who actually is a believer too. Like it's interesting to see where his career has gone.
Yeah. Well, I found out a little bit more about where all the
backlash
dislike came from.
Okay.
Yeah. It actually started from, there was a promo for a late night show a comedian was on, and he was talking about how bad Nickelback was.
Sure.
And they turned that into a promo that played in commercial breaks 24/7. And so I guess it got put into people's brains, and they're like, yeah, it is kind of ridiculous. But so anyways, on top of that, they are making a documentary about the whole thing. So Chad Kroeger, he's the front man for the band. He announced the release of the documentary. It's called Nickleback, Hate to Love, that addresses all the backlash. And here's what's great about it. The movie will be helpful for Chad because he's tired of being asked about all the hate. In every interview he goes to these days, everyone is like, why does everybody not like you?
And I think when you're interviewing someone, you're trying to get on their good side. And so you're trying to be an ally with them. Hey, I don't get it. I love you. Why does everyone hate you? So it's not like this gotcha question. But
you get asked that all the time.
Right.
It gets old. So Chad did state that if he's asked the question again, he'll simply point them to watch the documentary and end the interview by walking out.
Oh, wow.
He's done.
Now we know why people hate you. That's it. All right, that's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock.
Name your favorite dinosaur. Don't even think about it. Velociraptor. What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We got a chance to win a prize or two with our Best Friends game. The way this works is you're going to try to say who you think you're most alike on the show, and if you match an answer with them, you will win a prize. And so to give you kind of an idea of who you might line up with, we're going to do a round in the room here and see how we go. So, Betty Rock, this question is for you and Gavin. Okay? You and Gavin here. What is the best... Okay, sorry. You have 3 seconds, and then you guys both answer at the same time to see if you are truly best friends, okay? Best cereal to eat for dinner. 3, 2, 1.
Lucky Charms.
Oh! I did not see that coming.
They're always trying to catch me, Lucky Charms.
Oh, I would have gone Captain Crunch. And that's why we're not best friends, I guess. Oh, wow. That was pretty impressive, you guys. Okay. Lady Rock, what is yours?
All right. Mine is for Wally and Gavin.
Okay. Look at me in the eyes, Gavin. Nope. Not too long. You're looking too deep.
I'm trying
Stop
not to
staring.
blink. I'm trying not to blink.
Leave my soul alone.
Which animal is the best Barn animal.
Oh, barn animal.
Oh, no. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Cow?
Pig?
Oh, come on,
I'm
man.
sorry. I like steak way more than bacon. What?
Yeah, unbelievable. Cow's the only choice for a barn
You're
animal.
right.
All right.
That's on me.
Gavin?
All right, this is for you, too.
Okay,
and
Betty
I
Rock.
don't think either of you love these things.
Okay,
What
look
is
me in the face.
What is the best vegetable? 3, 2, 1.
Green
Corn.
beans.
Oh. No.
Corn is a great answer.
The answer
Corn
is there's
isn't
not
really
a
a
good...
vegetable.
How is it not a vegetable?
It's a starch. I
It
read
should be a
something on
vegetable.
it.
No.
I read something on it that there's not really that much vitamins to it.
Really? I'd
Yeah,
still...
which explains why you would pick it.
I mean, if you're ever at a restaurant and they're like, hey, would you like veggies? And I go, can I have corn? They go, absolutely.
Yeah, but they also put mac and cheese on that list too, and there is
True.
no veggie to
So
mac
good.
and cheese.
So good, actually. Okay, so Betty and Gavin were locked in the brain, but you've seen how we've each answered our question, so that might go, oh, you know what? I was going to say that, so I think I'm going to be most like Betty or Gavin or Wally. So here's the deal. If you say, I'm most like Betty, and then when we ask the question, yours and Betty's answer matches, you will win 2 prizes. If you match with any of us, you'll get at least 1 prize. So here we go. 855-33-WAY-FM if you want to play the best friends game with us. 855-33-WAY-FM.
Name your favorite dinosaur. Don't even think about it. Velociraptor. What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. Angelique, welcome to the Best Friends game. Now, based on what you know of the people on the show, who do you think is best friend material for you?
Wally.
Wally.
Oh,
Ooh, I am
bless your heart.
So sorry about that. Okay, so you think that you and I are going to answer similarly here. The way it works is we're going to ask everybody a question. And don't shout out your answer, Angelique. We're going to write ours down. If you match anyone on the show, you will get 1 prize. But if you happen to match my answer because you picked me as someone who is like-minded with you, you will win 2 prizes. So here we go. Here is your question. Item, okay, an item, and not like food or water. Item that you would most want in a survival situation. Everybody got your answers down?
You said it can't be a food or what?
Or water.
Oh, okay.
So with that, Angelique, what is the item that you say you would have to have?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
Wow.
That's a great
interesting,
one.
Because, I mean, you could have gone with machete to make fire and chop down trees for a hut, which is what I went for. You could have shaved it really thin and maybe made toilet paper.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, we did not answer like-mindedly there, so there's no 2 prizes. But the good news is you're still in the hunt here. If one of the 2 members of the show, Betty or Gavin, said toilet paper. Gavin, what did you say?
It is funny because I've never thought of toilet paper as being a thing that you would need, but I would love to have it.
Yeah.
I went down your same route, but I didn't go machete. I went hatchet.
Hatchet, okay.
Same
in
idea.
the same family.
Yeah.
An actual survival tool. Angelique, have you ever been told that you have survival instincts? Because I'm guessing no.
No, but I have a husband, so that's all I need. If he's with me, then he's got me. He's got it.
Him and this toilet paper, and we're good to go. All right, Betty Rock, as a fellow lady,
right?
Who like nature tinkles are not fun. So maybe you said this. I don't know. What'd you say?
You know, it's crazy that I put this answer down and I thought no one's going to get this. But I think female minds must think alike.
No.
I put down toilet
No, you
paper.
didn't. How is that possible?
Listen, when it comes to being a woman, you want to make sure you're good.
That is amazing. There are so
Yes.
many other things you could use to survive. Maybe even get rescued. A fishing kit, a snorkeling set.
Yes, but it's you want to make sure that you're presentable when someone comes to rescue you.
I guess so. Well, congratulations, Angelique. You got on the same page with Betty Lou, which means you are winning a prize today.
Yahtzee, thank you. Great minds think alike.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way FM. This here's the Wally Show with a little good news. Giddy up, a roundup of some good news stories because the regular news can be a bit of a bummer. To look at me, you can tell that I've never been into running. But I actually, yeah, I swear, right? You know, but I love this running story so much that I might actually take it up as a sport because I can actually be an amateur first responder as well, possibly. There was a high school sophomore named Cooper. He was on his way to a third place finish in a race for their school, and the runner in front of him stumbled and fell. And instead of running past him for a second-place finish, Cooper ran back, helped up the other runner who was a competitor from another school, and then one of Cooper's teammates saw what was going on, ran back, and helped pick him up, and the two of these kids take their competitor, lift him to his feet, and drag him across the finish line where he was pronounced dead.
Oh my
Stop!
gosh.
No, I'm kidding. It's Good News Giddy.
Don't do that.
I was going to ask what happened to him. Like, why did he collapse?
They're not sure. I think he's got a little dehydrated. But it's so impressive because, like, they were that close to the finish line. Me would have been like, okay, let me finish real quick. I'm going to run across here. I'm coming back for you. And then come back and then helped him up. But they didn't. They stopped right in the middle of what they were doing. And then if you look at the video footage, they all, like, crossed the finish line together. And again, I would have been tempted to stick my neck out, just a little bit. Like, I got second, and we did a good thing still. But that's not what these kids were about. I really love what Cooper said. He said, I know our team has great respect for people that give their best efforts, and that's what he did. He just came up 10 feet short. Later on, the kid who had collapsed, he messaged them on social media to say thank you very much and congratulate them for their win. So, yeah, kind of a cool thing.
Don't you know the parents are very proud of them?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what sports is supposed to be. We're supposed to teach our kids sportsmanship, and that's a great principle as you move through life. But a lot of times, we're not great at that.
Well, it's a good thing that you didn't have a son, because your son would have been the one that would have been like, snooze, you lose.
Yeah, see ya. Ran over his
line.
back. No, so if nothing else, the photo of these three kids finishing could be one of those motivational posters like you hang in your office, I think, or to inspire women to drink even more and get even bigger Stanley water jugs. Just because you don't want to become dehydrated, because that bad things happen when that happens. So there you go.
Wow.
That's a tip and your Good News Giddy Up for today.
People, please.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. A little people please for things that people say sometimes that we don't understand. There's been a lot of talk of the record heat this summer. Last week, 9 states from Maine to California were on an alert for extreme heat, with temperatures expecting to climb to 106 degrees in Dallas.
No way.
You will feel that all over. 97 degrees in North Carolina, 96 in D.C., and Phoenix poised to break a record of the most consecutive 110-degree days.
Who chooses to be out there?
It is so hot. Phoenix is like walking into a wall of heat when you come out of a building. It is brutal. So obviously there is concern for pregnant women during this time and how it could affect their pregnancy adversely. So according to the CDC, women's bodies they have to work extra hard to control their own body temperature, especially when they're pregnant, and so it could affect their developing baby. And so what do you do? So how do you prevent this? Well, they went to ABC News chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jen Ashton, and she's a board-certified OBGYN. She's always on Good Morning America. Very smart woman and very educated, very learned. And so I'm like reading this article. Oh my goodness. Yeah, what? I want people to know. Her doctor advice, this is someone that went to doctor school. Her doctor advice is, stay in the air conditioning.
Oh, come on.
Are you kidding me? People please. Like that's your big advice? I didn't go to 7 years of medical school and I could have told you that. And they're listening like, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Thanks for that. And we're going to write a whole article about it.
Yeah, and she's making big money for that.
Yeah.
Anyone could say that.
If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Oh, I had not thought of that. That's a great idea. It does make me laugh, though, because my wife will talk about how hot it is outside. I'm like, so did you go outside today? Oh, no. I looked on my app. I'm like, what are you complaining about? You're staying inside. It's not hot at all. It doesn't affect you at all. Wife, please.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.